Thanks for joining us. This is World Kitchen Bolivia, so thank you very much. I know it's a busy Sunday just before the Thanksgiving break, but I'm very happy that you've joined us today. My guest today is a visiting Hubert H. Humphrey Fellow from Bolivia, and she is here with her husband and daughter for the school year, so they'll be here until May or June. And so I'd like to introduce Rosmery Flores Arroyo.
Well, hi, Tamra. Hello, everyone. So I'm very happy to be here to share some of the cooking we do back home in Bolivia. And today I'm going to be showing and sharing with you how we make our very well-known Phisara in Bolivia. Phisara is basically made of quinoa, but it comes with a lot of other things in the way I make it for my family, especially, and in the way we can make it out here in the United States too. But of course, the made in Bolivia will be most of it.
Yeah, there are a few things that are a little hard to find here, but we have some substitutions, and Rosmery can tell us a little bit about that as she goes along. So where are you going to start, Rosmery?
Well, I'll start with the quinoa, and as you could have seen in the recipe, I'm going to use some quinoa. Today, I'm going to double the recipe you saw, like double the preparation, because as it says, it's for 3 people, like 3 servings. But today we're going to enjoy this Phisara, and we are 6, so I'm going to double the quantities. I will begin with measuring the quinoa. I will do it from scratch with all of you, and I would like you to follow me, please. So, double cups of quinoa. I will go to the stove. So, here we go with 1. And 2. There we go. Now the quinoa has to be toasted.
Okay, so we're toasting the grain. It's not been rinsed or washed. It's just the grain straight out of the bag.
Yes, that's right. We wash it afterwards.
Okay.
We'll get to see that. So the quinoa already has some color, but we will toast it until it gets like a little bit of a golden color. And we have to like take care of it so that all of it gets golden color and not just some part of it.
So this is a traditional Bolivian dish? Is this something that you would make like you were telling me that, you know, after work sometimes you come home and you're trying to make food. Is this something that most people would eat for lunch or dinner?
Yes, it's something common, but it is not something that we cook like at least 3 times a week. We cook it like, let's say, twice a month.
Okay.
Yes, like that. And in some parts of Bolivia, especially Cochabamba, where I come from, we eat quinoa like sometimes not as a main dish, not for lunch, but as some food in between breakfast and lunch. You can easily get some quinoa Phisara in different places in the city, downtown in Cochabamba, and you can eat it.
Oh, so is it at a restaurant or is it like street food?
Street food.
Okay.
Yes. And they regularly serve it in small dishes, so it is meant to be something in between breakfast and lunch.
Okay.
Yes. But in my house, in my family, we make it like for the main dish for lunchtime.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna start changing, maybe a little bit stronger here.
Mm-hmm. You were telling me that your daughter, when she goes to school, she comes home for lunch. She doesn't normally eat at her school, so you have a bigger lunch time.
That's right, Tamra. In Bolivia, kids go to school 4 hours in the mornings or 4 hours in the afternoons. So they don't go further than that. All children go back home for lunchtime. They can have some snacks at school, but that is not like lunch. They go home for lunch.
Okay, so they only go a total of 4 hours a day.
Yes, that's
okay.
right.
I think our kids would love that idea.
Very probably, very probably.
So did Valentina have a hard time with starting school here and having to go for the full day?
Well, she just says that she likes it here, that she's enjoying it. She's seen a lot of American culture in movies, and she's been exposed to a lot of what American life is like. I think she's been looking forward to this kind of going to school, so
Yeah.
she hasn't complained about it.
That's great.
Yeah. Besides, she gets lunch at school, so yeah, I think that makes it easy for her.
Yeah.
It's almost done. Look, it's
Oh, yeah, I can hear it popping now.
yeah, it is. It is.
So you'll hear that sound of the quinoa popping as it roasts?
Yes, yes, that's very interesting. Yeah. It's almost ready.
Almost like popcorn.
Yes. Yes.
You were telling me that the quinoa in Bolivia is kind of different than we found here, right?
Yes, it is different in a way that quinoa in Bolivia is sold like measuring the quinoa, not already prepared in bags, like in the way it is presented for exporting quinoa to other countries. So you can buy, like, let's say 2 or 3 kilos of quinoa, and then you can just use the quinoa you need from that. And the quinoa may vary, of course. Thank you. So you can smell.
Yeah, it's still
It is done.
popping and brown.
It is ready. Now we'll go for washing it.
Now I'm going to want to, anytime I make quinoa, I'm going to want to roast it ahead of time. I've never done that when I've made
Yes.
quinoa.
Yes, that's necessary so that it, when it gets cooked, it gets in the way you want it for serving it with chicken. Like today, we're going to do it with some vegetables. So now let me just get, I don't want this to go a little more. This is just perfect. We don't need it more golden. Now I need some water.
Okay.
For washing it. Here. One. And I'll wash it.
Okay, so we're going to take this over to a bowl of water that you've put into the sink.
Yes.
And just drop it in there.
Yes.
So she's pouring this all into the water in the bowl in the sink. Sorry, our camera cord won't reach quite over the sink, but we'll pull it out and show you.
Yes. It's very hot.
Okay.
So I will use my hand. Well, of course, I wash them.
Come a little closer.
Yes, I will wash it like this.
Okay.
And as I was telling you, Tamara, the quinoa needs to be washed at least, the least you can wash it is in two times as I am doing it. Because quinoa has something that covers it, that makes it bitter. If we don't wash it enough, then the taste may vary, and maybe that's one reason why some people don't use it very frequently. So that's why I wanted to show you how we wash it. Look how it's like I'm moving it, right?
Yeah.
Not a straw. Well, but it needs to be washed. So
Yeah, and I
yes,
can see that the water is getting very cloudy and there's
Yes.
some bits coming off of it.
Yes, that's true. So I will do it again. It depends on how the water ends up being after we wash it once. Then we know if I need to wash it only twice or maybe 3 times.
Okay. So if the water is still very cloudy
Cloudy.
and dirty, then you need to do it again?
Yes.
Okay. We do this kind of with rice as well. When I make the Persian rice, we rinse it maybe 2-3 times, and
Yeah.
you know, we kind of watch the water, and if it's still
Yes.
cloudy, we do it again.
Exactly,
Yeah.
just like that. But in the case of the quinoa, it's because of that bitter cover that is
Mhm.
all around each quinoa grain. Right.
Nice, yeah. Yeah, I think with the rice, we're doing it mostly to wash off some of the starch.
Yeah. Now I'm going to.
And you're gonna use a sieve, right? Like that
Yes.
fine mesh sieve
Yes.
to rinse it.
To rinse it. Yes, that's so.
Okay.
The water is coming out, and then we are almost ready for measuring the chicken broth.
Okay.
Tamra and me boiled some chicken beforehand.
Yeah, so we used some thighs and a chicken breast, and you know, just made a broth for about an hour, just boiled it in plain water. And Rosemary said it's very important that you don't put any salt in that, because that will affect the quinoa, right?
Yes, definitely. So we cannot cook quinoa in salty water or salty broth. So no salt at all.
Okay, so if you're gonna make your own broth, do it that way with no salt.
Yes.
If you're going to purchase pre-made broth, try to get no salt or low salt broth.
Yes. So as I used double cups of 2 cups of quinoa, I'm going to use 6 cups of broth. In the recipe, you could see that it was 1 cup of quinoa and 3 cups of broth. Now 6.
Okay, so 3-to-1.
3-to-1.
Okay. There was someone in the chat asking, so when you're toasting the quinoa, are you mostly doing that to get that bitterness out, or for the flavor, or is it both?
It is both, and a third reason. The third reason is that when we toast the quinoa, when it gets cooked, it absorbs all the liquid very easily, and it gets very, I don't know how to say, like it's not all stuck together like just
Stays
one
separate.
piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, stays separate. So
Mhm.
that's the third reason.
Okay.
It gives it a special flavor, as you said. Yeah. Now
So
we
you
have
want that
to
on?
turn on
That one,
this
yeah.
one, right? Okay, we will go here so it goes. So we will wait for it to be boiling, and then we add.
Then we'll add.
the
Okay, well, let's,
quinoa.
while we're waiting for that to boil, maybe we can come over and work on some of the other items.
Yeah, sure, sure. Well, to cook the quinoa, we need two other ingredients to add when the quinoa is getting cooked. One is the peas, and we have some already peeled here. I will add some more.
So this is one of the items that we discovered we don't really have here the way that they do in Bolivia. You would have peas in the pod. Here she found sugar snap peas,
Yes.
and she's taking the peas out of those sugar snap peas. I think you were telling me that people in Bolivia don't really use canned vegetables as much as we do here. A lot of people will buy, especially in the winter when we don't have fresh vegetables as you know, at our farmers markets and things like we do in the summer. People will get the canned vegetables. But the canned peas you said wouldn't work as well because they're already too soft, right?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, and we want the peas to be cooked in the chicken broth so that the peas get all that flavor from the chicken. It's not the same that when the peas are already cooked and you just mix it with the quinoa already cooked.
Yeah.
So we are using some fresh peas here, so we will cook them. Back home, we can use these peas or we can use some other kind too, as long as we have some green inside.
Okay, and you were saying back home, it's often fava beans?
Yes, that's it. That's
Okay.
right. The
Fava
fava beans are the ones that we use most of the time.
Okay.
And maybe one of the reasons back home is that fava beans are twice cheaper than peas.
Oh, so they're very inexpensive.
Yeah, they're very inexpensive, and they have a special taste, of course, different from peas. But that is another reason to like the price. Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna put some peas in there, and what else?
Yes, and the green onions.
Okay.
So this is ready. So I finished peeling that, and I will go with the getting ready the green onions.
Okay, so you're kind of making them very thin little strings?
Yes. Little strings there.
So it's going to be a very colorful dish because it's going to have the red pepper, the orange carrots, the green peas, and the green onions.
Yes.
And the tomato later. Yeah, the sauce.
You will see that there are two ways in which we can finally eat the phisara. I'll show the very common way and the variation with the when we include more other vegetables. So this is ready. So we just need to wait for the broth to be at the boiling point, and then we add the quinoa.
Okay, but you're also going to make the sauce, right?
Yes, there is a sauce. That's a very popular sauce. I will go to the sauce in a moment. I will continue getting ready for the variation, which is adding some more vegetables. So as you can see, we have already some sticks that have been shredded, especially for this. Oh, yes, the carrots, and then we have the red peppers, and I will go for one more.
So we just used a red bell pepper and carrots.
Yes.
So very common vegetables.
Yes. Here.
And you said you're trying to make the shreds very long, right?
Yes, the longest I can to make them like sticks.
Okay.
We can just chop them too, but I think this is very easy.
Yeah. So you could also just, with a knife, just julienne them very thin matchsticks.
Yes. So we're almost done.
So in Bolivia, I know you were saying that you tend to have your big meal of the day at lunch. Some people have a light dinner. Some people maybe just have a tea or something really light. What are some of the other dishes that are very common in Bolivia?
Like for lunchtime? Oh, well, for lunchtime, depending on the region, but like in general, many families tend to have soup. Soup is for lunch, and then, for example, in Cochabamba, most families have soup for lunch, but a big nice bowl of soup with the soup has some noodles, can have some potatoes, can have some beef, and a lot of celery and beans. So we eat that.
Nice hearty soup. Yeah.
Yes. And then dinner time in Cochabamba is at about 6 or 7 p.m. So there you cook, let's say, some potatoes with salad and a piece of some beef, and that's the food for the day. Yeah.
Okay.
But some families, they just have, like in my family, we don't usually have soup like that much, like in Cochabamba. We live in Tarija now, another city. And so I cook only one main dish, and we have some breakfast, we wait till lunchtime, we get to eat some lunch, like let's say some chopped potatoes with some chicken cooked in the oven and some salad. We usually have like a second serving of the same thing, so we get like a good lunch. Then we wait till tea time.
Okay.
Oh, our broth. It is ready.
Boiling. Okay.
Yeah, so now let's add the quinoa to the broth. Something important is that we are not adding salt, not yet.
Okay.
So that's it.
All right.
Now it will boil. Once the broth reaches, or the quinoa grows and it's about to reach to the top level of the broth, there is where we will add the peas and the green.
So you're letting it boil down a little bit till it
Yes.
just reaches the top of the quinoa?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. But as these, they look very tender. I think we will wait till that. When the peas are don't look as tender as these ones, we could put them together with the quinoa.
Okay.
We don't want them too soft.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, that's the reason. So let's wait a little bit. And I advise everybody that is following us not to try to focus on the quinoa, and not to do something else that you forget about it, because remember that this doesn't have any salt, and if we let it just be and get too much cooked and we haven't added the peas, what do we do with the peas, and when do we add the salt, right? So there is a very important a level of cooking that the quinoa reaches. There you can add the salt, because if we add the salt right now, the quinoa will probably never get cooked. It will just boil and boil, like just raw as in the beginning. It happened to me once.
Oh, interesting.
When I didn't know that very important thing. And I said, I think, I called my mother and I said, it doesn't get cooked. It's still just as it was in the beginning. And it was, did you add salt from the beginning? Yeah. So it will not get cooked.
Okay.
So I learned the lesson. Yeah. So we have to concentrate a little bit here.
So we're keeping it at what we would call a rapid boil. So it's actually bubbling, boiling.
Yes.
Yeah. So can you tell us, while we're waiting, what it is you're doing while you're here with the Humphrey program?
Oh, sure. The Humphrey program is such a special program that keeps us busy, to all the fellows that we are here for the 20 this year and next year. Well, we are busy but happy to be learning many things, doing many different things, such as re-experiencing being and sitting in undergraduate classrooms, and we are visiting very interesting classes. That is something very amazing, I would say, about the Humphrey program, because we get to choose, we get to make our package of interesting activities that we would like to enjoy and join and be part and experience. So we are sitting in one or two classes. I am sitting in a very, very interesting class that is education leadership. And the other class that I am also attending is the possibilities of English. The instructors are just amazing, and I'm learning lots of things about education, leadership, and what else you can do with the English you get as a professional. They've been very, very interesting.
What is your job back in Bolivia?
Well, back in Bolivia, I teach languages. I teach Quechua, which is one native language many people speak in Bolivia, and I also teach some English. So most of the time I am devoting my teaching to Quechua. I teach Quechua to future nurses. So nurses in Bolivia, in my region, in Tarija, because many families have moved to live in Tarija from other regions where they were born speaking the language, speaking Quechua. So they need to communicate, these nurses need to communicate with their Quechua-speaking patients. They need to go out to the neighborhoods, to the communities. So that's why
very important.
Yes, they are learning Quechua. And I'm also teaching some English. Yeah, that's almost. No, I think I should add the keys. We should add. Okay. Yes. No salt. No salt.
No salt yet.
Not yet. Not yet. A little more. Then we'll add the salt. Get ready.
So you will be here taking other classes in the next semester, I assume.
Yes.
And then you'll do what they call the professional affiliation.
Yes.
Have you figured that one out yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm already enrolled in my local professional affiliation, and many of my fellow friends have already begun doing that too, and it is very, very interesting. Very, very motivational, I would say, because we get the chance to work with institutes, like institutions, organizations, departments, and to be very close to what they are really doing. In my case, I am doing my local professional affiliation at IECP, and there are 12 amazing English instructors whose classes I have already been visiting, and I will continue visiting. And I have a very great idea came up after I have visited like a couple of classes, and based on those visits, I am working on building up a presentation that I'm sure many of the faculty members at IECP will be very interested in listening about, which is contrasting what happens in real life, like in American language classrooms, and what happens in Bolivia. So how do we deal with certain methodological aspects here and there? So I'm working on that. I'm quite excited about it, and I've already spoken a little bit about this idea with the director, the two people in charge of IECP, and they're also, I think, looking forward to seeing some.
For any of our viewers who don't know, IECP is a Penn State intensive English program housed in Penn State Global. In the Buki building on campus at Penn State. So a lot of students will come and do IECP or take this intensive English course in order to then later qualify to become an actual Penn State student, undergrad or grad student.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, we're very close to the moment now. I think it's already growing. It's already opening.
Starting to open up.
Yes, a little bit more. And we will add the salt, and then we can go into a lower flame, and then just let this get cooked as if it were rice.
Okay. Yes. So do you don't cover your quinoa as it cooks, or you do?
You mean
a lid?
Yes.
A lid on
yes.
You do?
Yes.
Okay.
With the low flame.
Okay.
Yes. Now we have to, not to forget, the salt has to go. A little bit more, yes. I have a friend back home. She's Ceci. I don't know if she will ever get to see this presentation. And she said, "Hey Rose, you please have to teach me how to make that pizza. You always talk about, and my family, I would like them to eat." She says she has tried making it like more than a couple of times, and she has not been very successful. And then we decided to do something like let's cook together. Because after
Sure.
telling, yeah, let's cook together.
Well, once this video goes up on our website, she can watch it and,
yeah.
and cook along with you.
So she can now, she doesn't need to wait for me to go back to Bolivia.
Right.
Yeah. Almost there. Yeah. Just a little bit more, maybe 1 more minute, and then we'll go with the salting.
Okay.
So I will need like almost 1 teaspoon.
You want,
Yeah, because if I just shake this, I will never know how much salt we have added to our. That's good. Yes.
And I'll get you a teaspoon.
Thank you, Tamra. Yes, that's good. Okay, I'm getting ready with it. Yeah.
Okay, so a teaspoon is good for 2 cups of quinoa?
A little, we will add a little bit more.
Okay.
Maybe 1 and a little bit more. Yes, it's time. Look,
Mhm.
otherwise it won't get mixed with all the quinoa.
Mhm.
Now it's the time. Okay. Half more. Oh, yeah, too much. So half of it. That's it. Let me just help out a little bit. Yes, very fine. We will add the green onions.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Green onions go in?
Yes, all of it. All the green onions go. There we go. Yes, and we have some more. This will give special taste. And it is almost time for us to go into lower flame. Let me just try a little bit. And we can go into lower flame now. Okay. This,
Down to maybe medium, like 4 or 5?
yeah, maybe even a
little lower?
Yes,
3?
maybe 3. Okay.
Yes.
And we can, that's it.
All right.
Yeah. And now it will take like, I don't know, something like 7 minutes, and it will be almost.
Great. All right.
While that gets cooked, I think I have this almost ready. Well, I can use the same pan to saute the vegetables.
Okay. The one we used for the quinoa.
Yes, please.
Should we get it?
Okay. Thank you, Tamra. There we go. Thank you. Okay. I will use some olive oil to get the variation ready with the vegetables. I will use the carrots, I will use the peppers, and that will be ready for us to mix with some of the quinoa already cooked. Okay. That is a variation. So quinoa and the Phisara, as when this gets ready in about 7 minutes or so, we can just serve it just like that with a lot of cheese on top and the sauce that we will make.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, okay, let's work on that. There? This has to be fast. Not much. It's enough. And thank you.
So you're just going to lightly saute the carrots and the red pepper.
Yes, that's true. Okay, and then we can use it. Yeah, thank you. Now we will make some the salt. This can go into not too strong. Maybe there. Just need them to be a little bit tender. We may need a little bit of more salt. But I think the other one will be okay. I let it sprinkle a little more. Yeah. I would like to look at the real flame this hot is the low. It's good to have at hand some extra chicken broth in case for any reason, measuring or something, we just feel that it needs more broth. So we just add a little more back. By now we are doing fine. Just like we don't need any. I'm trying to read some more. But now we are doing perfectly. Yes. Okay. The carrots take a little bit longer than the peppers. The peppers go almost in the end. Just 1 more or 2 more minutes and then it's ready. Almost there. A little more. Yeah, it's ready. Then we add the.
So again, the red bell pepper, you have the whole one in there.
Yes. Oh, we have to. Let me add a little bit.
Yeah, so she just did sort of thin slivers of the red bell pepper.
It can be in any shape you want, but to mix it very nicely with the quinoa, it looks nice when they're slices or when they are sticks or when they're just little squares. Yeah. But big pieces, like triangles or more, wouldn't really work that much. Yeah.
It's just going to make it very colorful and pretty to eat.
Yes.
As well as tasty.
This is my style though. That's why you will be able to see how we eat it like regularly, but many people are beginning to add more vegetables to our cooking because we have a lot, right? We have a lot of vegetables back home, and we know it's healthy, so we just tend to make a lot of variations. And this is one very good way of doing that. Yeah. 1 more minute and this is ready.
Nice fall colors.
Yeah. Oh, fall colors. Yes, you're right. Let's look at our quinoa. Okay. Good.
What are you feeling for when you do this?
Oh, that it is not getting stuck,
Okay.
and that I'm looking at this if it is cooked, and if it needs some more broth, probably, but this is just perfect.
Okay.
Tamra, you're doing a good job. Good. This is ready, so I have to, this is the one, right?
Yes.
Okay, this is done. This is ready for the variation. Salt, oil, and this has not been really fried. We don't want that.
Right.
No. Like fried in a lot of oil, I mean, right? Yeah, that's all.
Lightly.
Yeah, just lightly. Ready?
Great. Okay.
Now,
And
I think
sauce.
we don't have to forget this. It could get stuck like just rice, rice. When people start cooking rice the first time, it tend to burn it. But this can burn it. So it's just like rice. A little bit more, let's see. I think we can just let the steam do the final job. Yes, it is done.
Okay.
Yes. So we can turn this off. So
Just let the steam finish.
if anyone would say like, it's still a little hot, no, the steam will do its job.
Okay. All right. Now back over to make the sauce.
Now, this sauce is called llajua, but maybe before I go on telling all of you how to make the very popular and worldwide known llajua, I would like to say one more thing. This dish we are cooking, Phisara, is a Quechua word. It's not Spanish. And this Phisara is cooked in two regions, big regions of my country, as well as la llajua. This llajua is also a Quechua word. It comes from Quechua, and although we use this sauce like in those two big regions, which is like the western part of my country and the central part, this has become that popular in Bolivia that we can eat it anywhere in Bolivia now. Like it has spread a lot. And I remember that it was in the year 2001 when I worked with a crew of filmmakers from Denmark that they went to Bolivia to make a Bolivian movie. I worked with them as an interpreter, translating from English into Quechua, from Quechua into English. And you know what? The thing that they loved the most was the llajua.
Okay.
So the lady, you will see how it ends up. It comes in a bowl like this. Let's say like this, just like the one we have here. You don't have it in big bowls. So llajuas are small, like you don't make a lot of it. But with those dames, it was more llajua than
the other food.
Yes, because they just loved it. Okay. And when I went to visit them in Denmark, I wanted to take the peppers with me, but they said you cannot take anything like that outside Bolivia. I was just, wow, but this is something they would love to have, to try llajua again after 2 or 3 years. But I just couldn't. I took the powderized version of it, and anyways, they had some llajua there. So let's make it now. So this is the Bolivian.
So you've already got some in the bowl, but you're going to show us how you did that.
Yes, I shredded 3 tomatoes. Not bigger than this. I think one was.
So we got some Roma tomatoes because she felt like those don't have as much water in them and they will hold up better.
Yes, that's right. When we went shopping, we didn't want the round ones, right? I don't know what they're called. So originally, we don't do these to make the llajua. we are in the United States, and we don't have that big stone, like let's say, I don't know, maybe like 70 centimeters by 70, all stone, this thick, with another big stone like this. You put the tomatoes a little bit chopped, and then you just smash them there.
Mash it, okay.
Yeah, there, like that as well. Then the pepper, and then you pick all of that up into a bowl like that, as I said, a small one, you pick, and then you add, you chop a little bit of the onions and oil and salt. That is the llajua.
Okay.
So here we will do it like this.
We don't have the stones, so we're using a shredder.
Yes. And I have done it already by now like 5 times here in the States, and they liked it.
Good.
So now I know how to make it. I was trying to figure out how to make it there. Now, many people still use those stones in Bolivia. Many, even in my house, we have one like that, like the big one and the top one for smashing.
So if I come to Bolivia and I want to bring one home, I have to save a whole luggage weight just for the stone, right?
Yes. Yes, that's true. And we know that when we do it in the stones, it has a different flavor, but the difference is, it's good to try the American version of the llajua here. There we go. So we have, and we do the same with the jalapeno. We shred. We already have it here. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah. So we already have some jalapeno in there, and we're not sure how spicy it is, so we're being careful.
Yes.
Because we don't like a whole lot of spice.
Yeah, and the llajua is not supposed to be like extremely spicy.
Okay.
Because it is the role it plays on a table in Bolivia is to give it like one more version of any sauce that refreshes whatever you are eating, and it gives it like a very special flavor to anything you eat. Anything. So now I am adding the white
part of a green onion, a spring onion.
Yes, that's true. A little bit of this, not very much. It gives a special flavor. There we go. We have the tomato, the jalapeno in it, and the onions. Now we add the salt and oil. That combination, thank you very much. That's good. So I will just try doing this.
If my husband was here, we would have to add much more spice, but he's not. So
Okay.
he likes everything very spicy.
Yes. Wow. I'm sure he will like this.
Yeah, we'll have to try it when he gets here.
Yeah. Like 1 spoon.
About a tablespoon?
Yes.
Yeah.
We may need a little bit of more salt. I just realized that the sauce is more than I thought. Like it came up like with those 4 tomatoes. More. Yes, I think there we go. That's it. So the Bolivian llajua is ready.
Nice. Okay.
And this is served along with the phisara. Okay. Now let's go back to our phisara. Wow, this is ready. Look at it.
Okay, just a second.
Yes.
Here we go.
This is just perfect. It's totally ready, right?
So if we were going to serve this,
Yes.
when at a, you know, for lunch or whatever.
Uh-huh.
So how would you then serve it?
Like this. So this is ready. We go like that.
Mm-hmm.
You see, no water down there, and it's just nice.
Mm-hmm.
Then we go with the cheese.
Okay. Alex,
We shredded some cheese, and this shredded cheese is here.
so this is a queso fresco cheese?
Yes. We add it like that.
Mm-hmm.
We serve it like that. And the yahua comes
On the side.
on the side. Because if it is too spicy, so people just get much more, so they decide how much they can eat. This is one way. This is the pizarra we usually eat in Bolivia.
Okay.
This is the most common way to serve it, but I will show you the second version of it.
Okay. I'll give you another plate.
Yes, please. And yes.
And
Okay, that's good.
all right.
And we need the other vegetables. There we go. Done. And we mix it. We stir it, we mix it.
So you're just getting some more vegetables in there,
Yes.
as opposed to the traditional one that is on its own.
Yes. And we can also make another variation besides this. I will show you what will happen. That's it. So, let's start serving. There we go. There we go. We get some cheese on top again. We get the sauce, like that one, inside. This shows that we respect the person's real like of la yahua. So maybe they want to go little by little, so we're not pushing them to go into la yahua right away. Now, this is the variation. Now, one more thing. We will bring the chicken that we cooked, and as we boiled and we cooked the chicken without any salt, we added some salt afterwards. So this chicken has already some salt on both sides. So what we can do is get this and serve our pizarra like that. And we can do the same there if we want. We can add more here or add it like that. But I think I should share something else for the people that are following us. And you can also do this, what we do at home. And it is, we just eat the pizarra without any chicken, without any beef. What we do with the chicken is we use it for another serving of another food. It could be for the next day, or it could be for a dinner that you are thinking of, maybe. So we just eat the pizarra
Without the chicken.
Without the chicken, without the beef. That's
Okay.
another way. And this is another. If you're not planning to cook later, and this is all you will eat as the main food for the day, then the chicken comes with it.
There we go. I'm trying to get these in the picture there. So you can see the two variations. We have the traditional with just without the vegetables in the middle, just the green onion.
Yeah.
With the peas, sauce on the side, and peas, yes,
Yeah.
and a little chicken. Or this variation she created with the additional carrots and red peppers. So both beautiful, both a different way of serving it, another option. So let's go back to the front here. All right, well, thank you so much for being here today, and to your daughter who's sitting in the other room waiting to try this as well.
Yeah, oh, pleasure. My pleasure to come and share what we have back home in Bolivia, and that people get to know some more about Bolivia.
Yeah, definitely. We thank you very much for joining us today. We'd also like to thank our sponsor for World Kitchen, Penn State's Online Education and Outreach Office of Inclusion, Equity, and Diversity. They're always our sponsor, and we all are very grateful for that. And I wish you could be here to try this. We're gonna try this as soon as we close the camera down here. But thank you again for joining us. And we already have next month all set up. On December 10th, the visiting Hubert H. Humphrey Fellow from Croatia is here with her husband, and he will be our chef next month, offering a dish from Croatia. So be sure to check out our website later this week, and you can register for that on December 10th. Thanks very much.
Videos like this are made possible by support from viewers like you. If you enjoyed this video, visit WPSU.org to become a member today and help us create more content like this.